So, apparently, we're rebooting Harry Potter. Yes, the same Harry Potter that already has 8 successful films, theme parks, spin-offs, and one of the biggest fan bases in the world. And yet, HBO is now planning a full television reboot of the entire story. 7 books, 7 seasons, a completely new cast, a completely new version of Hogwarts. Now, some fans are excited, others are asking a very simple question. Why reboot something that already worked? And the more you look into it, the more it starts to feel like this isn't really about Harry Potter at all. Harry Potter is one of the most successful franchises ever created. The books by J.K. Rowling sold hundreds of millions of copies. The films, starting with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, became a global phenomenon. 8 movies, billions at the box office, and a generation that grew up with these characters. For most people, that story already feels complete. So when a reboot gets announced, it immediately raises questions, not just about the show itself, but about why it exists in the first place. The original success. The original films did something very difficult. They made fantasy accessible to a massive audience. They balanced tone well. They evolved as the characters grew. And most importantly, they worked. They weren't perfect, but they were successful. And more than that, they became iconic. The casting alone made a huge impact. Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint. For millions of viewers, those performances are the characters, which means the reboot has a problem straight away. It's not just telling a story, it's replacing a version people already love, the new series. So what is this reboot actually doing? The plan is simple. 1 season per book, 7 seasons total, which means far more time to tell the story. And that's where the main argument for the reboot comes in. The films had to cut a lot. Entire subplots disappeared, characters were reduced, some details were simplified or removed completely. A TV series could fix that. More time, more detail, more depth. In theory, this could become the most faithful version of the story ever made, but that's only half the story. What the films left out. Even fans of the movies will admit this. The books had a lot more going on. For example, Peeves the poltergeist, completely missing. The Marauders backstory, heavily simplified. Ginny Weasley, far more developed in the books than in the films. And then there are smaller details, world building, side characters, moments that gave the story more texture. A long-form series could bring all of that back, and if done well, that's a genuine improvement. But it depends entirely on execution, the casting problem. Now we get to the part everyone focuses on, the cast. A completely new group of actors will be stepping into these roles, and that's unavoidable. But it's also risky, because audiences already have a fixed image of these characters. So every casting decision will be judged instantly, compared to the original, analysed, debated. And that creates a difficult situation, because even if the new actors are excellent, they still have to overcome the weight of what came before, the real question. But here's where things get interesting, because if the original films were successful, and if audiences still enjoy them today, then the real question isn't just why reboot it. The real question is, what problem is the reboot trying to solve? Because studios don't restart something this big for no reason. And in this case, the answer starts to become clear when you look at what happened after the original films ended. The Fantastic Beasts problem. After Harry Potter finished, Warner Brothers tried to expand the universe. That's where Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them comes in. The idea was simple: new story, new characters, same world. And at first, it worked. But then the series started to struggle. The story became more complicated. The connection to the original timeline became heavier. And audience interest started to drop. By the third film, momentum had clearly faded. The original plan was 5 films, but that plan stalled, which left Warner Brothers with a problem. The brand still had value, but the expansion wasn't working. So, what do? You go back to the safest option, the original story, the streaming era. There's another factor here: streaming. Modern studios don't just want films, they want long-term engagement. A Harry Potter TV series can run for years, 7 seasons, multiple releases, constant discussion. And from a business perspective, that's incredibly valuable. It keeps the franchise active, it keeps audiences engaged, and it keeps subscriptions ticking over. So suddenly, the reboot makes a lot more sense. Not just creatively, but strategically. The bigger pattern. And once you see that, you start to notice a bigger pattern. Hollywood keeps returning to the same franchises, not because it has no ideas, but because familiar stories are safer. They already have an audience, they already have recognition. But there's a downside. Every time a story gets rebooted, the question becomes louder. Does this actually need to exist? Final thoughts. So, the Harry Potter reboot sits in a very interesting place. It could work. A long-form adaptation could genuinely improve parts of the story. It could restore missing elements, expand the world, and give characters more depth. But at the same time, it also represents something bigger, a shift in how studios handle major franchises. When expansion fails, they restart. When risk increases, they go back to what worked. And that's exactly what this feels like. Whether it succeeds or not, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm curious to know what you think. Does Harry Potter actually benefit from a reboot? Or should some stories just be left alone? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy breaking down films and TV like this, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.